Hey everybody, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane and today is July 8th, 2016. This is episode 90. I got it wrong last time. I'm not even going to try. It will be at the beginning. I think the second week in a row I haven't opened my drink before I started. Sorry. So yes, welcome to the show. I am flying no show notes today, so let's see if I can get everything in and actually talk about all of the things that I want to talk about. The first thing that is uber important that I feel like I have been completely remiss at doing is really talking about our sponsors and prize donators for the Around Your Neck KAL. We are in month 2 of 3 of this knit along. It's the second year, so anything that you wear around your neck is eligible, which is amazing because there are so many other knit alongs happening right now. There's the Summer of Lace and Beads that always runs in the summer. There's Stash Dash. There is the Ho-He along with the grocery girls. There is the Pal KAL with actually knitting. There are just so many knit alongs that are happening right now, and I am pro double dipping, triple dipping, quadruple dipping, all the dips. Maybe that needs to be the title, all the dips. So yeah, knit something that you wear around your neck. If it's in the accessory neck category in Ravelry, then it counts. Anything you have to put over your head, unless it's a cowl, because that's around your neck, but like over your head and then arms in, doesn't count. Got it? Pretty easy. Okay, so I want to talk about the sponsors right now. And this is a huge list, and I'm reading it off of the chatter thread, the first post. And I'm just going to go through these because they're amazing. Okay, so we have a anonymous donor donated one knit spot pattern by Ian Hansen. We have bags by Austin Granny. 2 winners will get, they'll each get a medium-sized bag. Bluegrass Bags and More, 1 winner will win a bag of their choice. Java Pearl Designs, 5 shawl patterns from her shop will be given away. Birch Grove, 1 winner will win a small-sized bag of their choice from the shop. Clothesline Designs, can you tell I'm too far away from my computer? Clothesline Designs, 2 winners will win a shawl pattern of their choice from the Ravelry shop. Studio in the Green, 1 winner will win a shawl sack. Suffolk Socks, 1 winner in the UK will win a shawl design and yarn from her shop. Bunnyfish Designs, 2 pattern winners. Kitchen Counter Crafter, $25 Etsy shop credit to 1 winner. Colorful Eclectic, 1 skein of winner's choice to the winner. Also, she is offering a 10% off of your purchase through August 31st, 2016. And if you don't remember, well, I'll show that. She's the one that sent me this really pretty hot pink yarn, right? Lori Beardsley Designs, 3 winners, so 3 pattern winners from her shop. Fiber Nymph Designs, 1 skein of Cake Pops in the winner's choice of base and 1 set of Inversibles in the winner's choice of base. The silkdrop.com will get 1 skein of winner's choice from the shop. Desert Vista Dye Works, 1 skein of winner's choice from the shop, past or current colorway. Nitty Kitty Bags on Etsy will get a 1 skein of the winner's choice from the shop. Holly Dap Designs, 2 patterns from the shop. And Little Yellow Uke has an Etsy store, and she's dyeing yarn, and she is donating 1 skein of yarn on the soprano base. What I would like to say, because there are so many prizes, and I'm so grateful. I mean, you guys, so generous, right? So generous, all of these prizes. If you have contacted me and you did not hear your name, please reach out to me and I will add your information to the list. That is just in my craziness of summer and schedules and all the emails and everything. I would feel horrible if I left someone out that intended to have a prize giveaway, and it is not by anything other than just human lack of brain cells. So, yes, so that's it. I am just so thrilled. I think maybe this week or next week I'm going to go through some of the chatter thread and hand out some prizes to some people who are participating. So I'm really excited about that, because that way, you know, maybe there's somebody that isn't going to knit a million things, but they are participating, then you might win a prize. So that's really exciting. I just really want to thank everybody again for knitting along, for donating a prize, for just participating in general. I have recently fell in love with these little bitty Coke cans because it's like 7 ounces, which is perfect. It's all the soda that I need. And really I end up drinking only about half of this. So it's just perfect. Okay, so, and that is obviously hashtag not paleo. Let's get into the knitting, shall we? Okay, so this week, actually it's been about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and I have really been productive and it's been exciting. I have not finished any projects, so I don't have any finished objects to show you. I have just been working away on a lot of different projects. The first of which I will show is my Desert Vista Dye Works blanket. And these I'm knitting, if you'll remember, I'm using my signature needles, size 2.5 millimeter, I believe. It's 2.5 US. It's a 3 millimeter. 3 millimeter. And it's the 7-inch straights with a teardrop. And I get a lot of questions about that, but I love these. They were a splurge, but I'm going to be knitting these blankets for a really long time. So I figure I'm happy to have a nice needle. So I put in my 20th square in here, and I believe that, I can't remember, I know this one's new. This is Zombody Dual Dandy. I knit a pair of socks a couple of years ago out of this one. This one I can't remember if I've showed these last two, but this one is Zombody's Pop in the Cork, which I knit last January for the knit along. And then this one is Zombody's Eating Fruitcake, which I knit in December the year before. Actually, this was the month before she started the unofficial knit along. I knit this pair, so that's kind of interesting that that's how it worked out. But yeah, oh wow, this whole row is zombie yarn, which there will be a lot of because I knit a lot of her Zombody skeins. So I have 20 squares. It's definitely foldable. I love the drape of this. For those, I always get the question, I cast on 64 stitches, which means that I do 2 decreases in the middle. I do have a project page for this project on Ravelry, and I think it's just called Mitered Square Blanket, and you'll see if you open it up, it links the pattern, which is the basic recipe that I use. Also, it has that I'm using 64 stitches. For those that have seen my other smaller mitered square blanket, that's like my pinks and purples and blues, that one is 44 stitches, but it's the same recipe. 44 stitches, and then it's a little bit smaller needle, so it's making a much smaller square. So I think hopefully that addresses any questions on that. I do also want to mention, it's been 2 weeks, and I'm so sorry if I get this wrong. I'm almost positive this is right, though. But Black Horse Knitter, who is a local Houston area knitter friend, and has a podcast, she saved me some of her Desert Vista Dye Works yarn. And she sent me ones that she knew, or she was pretty sure I hadn't knit with and didn't have on my stash. And she was spot on in all 3 of these. So super fun, bright colors that I get to knit into my blanket, and they're caked up and ready to go, which is even better. That is always the best. So that is my mitered square blanket. I didn't have any finished objects, like I mentioned, and on the subject of Desert Vista Dye Works, you will notice that if I didn't have a finished object, that means I didn't finish my May socks. Life was real, or my June socks, excuse me, my June socks. Life was just real and crazy and busy, and it just didn't happen. And you know, I am sad because I had a good streak going, like 17, 18 months in a row, but I'm also really, really excited to get to kind of have that weight off my shoulders of it, I guess. And just be able to knit what I want to knit without the obligation of having to finish something every month. I've done that for 1.5 years, and it's amazing. And I love Susan and her yarn, and she knows that. So I love it, absolutely love it. But yeah, I'm just not going to knit a pair every month. But the ones that I did cast on and start are my Alice socks, and I love them. So this is the Zombody's Curiouser colorway. I'm almost positive. Let's see if I can find the little tag. Oh, here it is. Yes, Zombody's Curiouser. And so it's got the 2 different color zombie stripes, which is the green one right here, and the purple one. She always, whenever there's a zombie stripe, there's at least 2. Sometimes they look a little more similar in color, but this one actually does show that there's a green one and a purple one quite well. Then there's this blue and white variegated, which is for Alice and her dress, and then her yellow hair, of course. So I really love these. I love the ones that have the variegated stripes too. Just super fun. They're very different. So that's the first one. I'm going to a movie later today with my oldest, and these will come along with me for sure because vanilla socks are the perfect movie knitting. The other things that I have worked on, I actually worked on my crochet blanket quite a bit. And I can't remember how big it was last time, but I have definitely made some progress on it. So it is large pot holder sized. The details on this, I used a tutorial that was on YouTube by Very Pink Knits. It's Granny Square Afghan, something like that. And I'm using scraps. She was using a much more planned out, thought out idea, and mine is just scrap yarn. So these first few sections are actually leftovers from my Desert Vista Dye Works blankets. Like I had 2 grams or 3 grams left over. So I just started with those and magic knotted them. These that I'm getting into now are getting into larger scraps. So you'll see that I have, 2 and 3 rows on parts of some of these, which is great. So still really loving it. And I've got a bag dedicated to it with lots of scraps ready to go. And it's pretty fun. I'm just kind of sort of planning out the colors, but not a whole lot. And that's making it really fun. So I think that's it for blanket stuff. I know that last episode I talked about how I was pulling out a shawl, or I pulled out a shawl that I had been working on, or started, earlier in March, I guess, that was supposed to be a knit along with my roommates for Zombie Knitpocalypse, but then ended up not being, we ended up not knitting it. The other girls pulled theirs out, and I am still knitting mine, and I'm really in love with it. It has sort of sat for a week or so as I cast on some other things, but still very excited about this project. So this is the Spectrum shawl by Joji Locatelli. It's 2 colors, and you can see that you start at this little point end, and I'm using 2 different colors of Madeline Tosh Merino Light. This gray is Steamer Trunk, and this multicolored rainbow is called, let's see, what is it called? Technicolor Dream Coat. And so you start here, and you are increasing in sections that make sort of a chevron look. And you can see it sort of slowly adds in, and then you get more rows, and then you have bigger sections of the color, and then now I'm here where you have even bigger sections of this rainbow color. And then I think after this little section of the shawl, then the gray is done completely, and then you're just left with the one multicolored. I love how it really gives a good gradient look because of the variegated. I'm just so pleased with it. So it's an interesting shape. It's going to be interesting to see how I wear it, but I'm just really enjoying it because it's so interesting to knit. The construction of it is very unique, and I think that's what's been appealing, is because it isn't predictable, and it doesn't do the exact same thing every time, and so then I have to sort of be on my toes and make sure I'm paying attention. And you know, sometimes that's nice. It's nice to engage your brain a little more. So I worked on that quite a bit, and then I have 2 new cast-ons. I cast on, and really only worked on it for 1 day, but it was an enjoyable day of work. I cast on the Talisman shawl by Curious Handmaids, Helen Stewart, and I don't think I printed a picture, but it is the first shawl as part of the Shawl Society that she is doing. I cast this on with hedgehog fibers, silk merino lace in the Urchin colorway. There it is. And it's a natural with pops of gray and purple, and every once in a while there's like a sort of a little green hint. It's just very pretty, very neutral with these little pops of kind of dark colors. And here it is. This is a lace weight. You can knit with lace or fingering weight for this shawl. I'm choosing lace weight because I have it, and I think that that'll help me make a bigger shawl. So there it is so far, and you can see this little textured, I've done the first little textured row. I think it's called a star stitch, and it does add just a nice little pop of interest there. So that's going, and the reason that this really only had 1 day of work is I cast it on June 30th, and the next day, wait, let me put this pattern back in here so I don't lose it. The next day, Camp Loopy started, the second project, and I had to cast on. So July 1st, I cast on for Volga. Of course, I don't have the pattern with me, but this is sort of it's Camp Loopy, and then it's also a fun little just knitting along with a friend, Shayna Lines, who I met at Zombie Knitpocalypse, and is a prolific shawl and cowl around your neck knitter. So this has just been super fun to have somebody that's knitting it at the same time. It kind of keeps me motivated, and we get to talk about our progress and things, you know, along the way, which is really exciting. If you follow me on Instagram, and I'm Suburban Stitcher on Instagram as well, you will have seen perhaps that I cast this on and then basically had to rip out all of my progress from the first day because I didn't read the pattern correctly. And anyway, so this design, it's a shawl, cowl thing. It's really not a shawl, it's a cowl, but it's drapey like a shawl, if that makes any sense. You start it off with a shawl construction, And then, I mean, this isn't really giving it away because I think it says it in the pattern description. So you start, and you cast on here, and you start knitting a triangle like a shawl. And then you get to a point and you put half of the stitches on hold, and you work in this direction, going this way, and kind of do your increases. You can see it's increasing fairly rapidly now, and also the lace is helping it stretch out. So there's this little mesh lace section that I'm working on, which is really fun. I'm just really enjoying this, and this is a great, if you have little pockets of time but not big chunks of time, it's a good project for that, I think, because you can really bang out, you know, a good bit of a section kind of at once. Or you can say, okay, I'm going to knit until I get this done. And then there's these sizable, like little chunks that you can separate it into. So it seems at least much more manageable for me that way. It will use 2 balls of yarn. And the yarn that I'm using, I don't have the tag for, but it's Dream in Color Smushy, I believe. It's 100% merino. And the colorway is called Amber Glass. I have 2 skeins of it. It is technically a variegated. You can see that it changes a little bit there, but my skeins seem to be very well matched, so I am playing with fire and not alternating skeins. I will alternate, you know, when it gets to that point. What I may do is save a little bit of this if I can at the end of this first section, and then go back and start it and start alternating kind of when I have to pick back up here, and then start alternating or something. But for the most part, it's just going to be what it is. So hopefully I haven't set myself up for failure already, but I'm loving the pattern. I love the stitch definition that this yarn is giving me. It's just gorgeous. And then I'm knitting this on my signature needles, size 6. That I got earlier this year. So just really enjoying all aspects of this guy. And this has to be done by the end of July. I am going out of town this weekend just for a long weekend to go back home to stay with my parents, with my kiddos for a few days. And I should have some knitting time there for sure. So I think that's it for my projects. That's kind of everything that I've touched over the last couple of weeks. And I want to show you now, we want to get into Hello Lovelies. I don't think I've showed this on the show either, but my friend made me this shirt, and I just love it. Absolutely love it. So since we met last, I have been very good on the yarn buying front. I attended and was helping in the Western Sky Knits booth at the Houston Fiber Festival. I did get a couple of things there that I want to show you. The first is I got a skein of olive yarn, which I've talked about before. I think I talked about last year after Stitches. This is one of my local yarn shops, and their in-house yarn line. And I love the yarn shop. I love the owner. I love her color sense. This colorway is called Antique Rose, and it's just beautiful. So it's just, I loved this particular section right there with the speckles. Just really smitten with the whole thing. It is on the Mission sock base. 4-ply fingering weight, 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon. It will not be socks. It will probably be a shawl of some sort. So I purchased this. And then the other thing, the only other thing that I purchased was I got 1 skein of, and you'll see 3, and I'm going to tell you why. I got 1 skein of this lace weight from Lost City Knits, and I have to tell you the story because I was just so thrilled. I purchased 2 skeins of this about a year and a half ago at DFW in 2015. I purchased these two, I believe, to make a shawl. Didn't know necessarily what it was going to be. I bought it with maybe one thing in mind, but probably won't do that now. And I just was thinking, you know, I just think I want to knit something else. But I had these two skeins and I love the color and I want to use them. And I thought, you know, maybe I'll look for a third skein, because there's this shawl that Denise of Lost City Knits designed. It's part of her new collection, the Shetland inspired collection, that is a gorgeous pie shawl. It's 2,400 yards of lace weight. This is 2,000 yards, and I thought, well, I need another skein. And I thought, you know, what are the odds? So I brought these there thinking, hopefully I can just get something that's close. Well, they mark their die lots. And there was one skein of the exact die lot left from a year and a half ago. So yeah, I was just so excited. I walked up and said, you know, I'm trying to match this. I really want to make this shawl that Denise designed, but I need another skein to be able to do it. And he said, well, what's your die lot? And we looked, and there was one skein left. How perfect is that? So amazing. So that was pretty exciting. So I walked away with 2 skeins of yarn and those little minis that I got as a gift. So I was very excited about that purchase. And then the other thing that came in the mail this week that was, oh no, I totally forgot something. I lied. One more thing did come in. And I may have to sneak over here and get the other part of it. Let me do that. Okay, so sorry about that. Let me talk about this first, since this was a purchase. This was a kit that was offered by Peepaloo Fields. It was a collaboration between Peepaloo Fields and Sucra Sucra Miniatures. I'm a lover of both of those shops. So when I saw that they were collaborating and I loved the colors of both things, I had to get it. This, I don't know what this colorway is because I can't read the writing, but it's this gorgeous minty green with these splotches of black, which I just think is way cool, or kind of a purpley black. And this is the stitch marker. It's a little sushi roll. Super cute. So that came in. And this next thing, sort of a party in my mailbox, and something fun for y'all. So, several months ago, I purchased some yarn from Molly at a homespun house. I got 2 skeins, and if you remember, I think I commented, I got this skein. It's on her Jeunesse fingering. It's the Let's Hold Hand colorway. And I commented that it was a little more pink than I had thought, and I was hoping that it would be a little more peachy. Well, she contacted me, Molly, the amazing Molly, and said, you know, I really want to get you a skein that is more like what you want. And so she, you know, when she dyed up another batch, she sent me a skein that she thought was closer. Sorry, there's going to be crinkling, so I can open this up. That she thought would be closer to what I wanted, and I could not be more thrilled with what arrived. So this is the skein that arrived, and I absolutely love it. You can definitely see the peachy tones in there, much more so than the pink. It still has the awesome splotches of purple, but I just love these light peachy colors. So the lovely thing about this is that she said that I could give this away to one of you. So what I would like to do is, I think I'm going to use this as just a random giveaway this week in the Around Your Neck KAL thread. So I will sometime this week just pick a post and you win this. So make sure that you are actively posting in the chatter thread for the Around Your Neck KAL, because this, along with maybe some of the pattern winners, pattern giveaways, could come to you soon. So thank you, Molly. Your customer service is amazing. You did not have to do that. Ordering variegated yarn and multi-tonal yarn online when you're not touching it is, you get what you get. And I am just so grateful that you, without even me asking, that you wanted me to be happy with my purchase, and I'm thrilled. And this is a gorgeous skein, and I am really excited to give this gorgeous skein to a lucky person out there. And they can knit it for a shawl because it is a single ply 100% merino yarn and would make a gorgeous shawl. So I think that just about does it for this week. Thank y'all so much for watching every single episode and for supporting my little podcast. I do want to say that there will be a small shop update on Friday, so a week from today, which is the 15th, I believe, July 15th, at noon. And it will have bags, and it might have some whip minders. I might put those up earlier, but for sure there might be a random surprise whip minder update sometime between now and next Friday, and then for sure there will be bags in the shop next Friday. I've been working on a project that is almost done and getting that out the door, and then I get to work on the shop again, which is super exciting. Thank y'all, and have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.